And welcome everyone to Riverside TV. This is the Friday Night Pep Rally. My name is Pep Fernandez. Jeff Gorham, Ghazal Hassan will join us as well as we break down a bunch of high school football in our area. A lot of scores, a lot of highlights, and we want to start with the game that you guys watched live on Riverside TV tonight, the Solar Series, Ramona and Riverside Poly. Ghazal and Jeff, you guys were on the call for this one. Man, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
I'll tell you what, we have not had a bad game yet this season on Riverside TV, and the big one, I want to say, it's always King Poly. They're saying no. It is Ramona Poly, the first two schools in Riverside, and it was a great one tonight.
Fifth straight win for the Rams over Poly. They're on a bit of a streak there, Pep.
And I know you're a numbers guy, so I think there was about 2 decades where it was all Poly, right? And now it's kind of shifting back towards Ram High in recent years.
In fact, Coach Mush is undefeated as a Rams coach versus the crosstown rival.
Interesting.
Yes.
Let's go to those highlights from Riverside TV earlier tonight. And it went down to the wire, a little back and forth seesaw battle between the Rams and the Bears. And I think I just talked over Jason Stinger, but we'll keep going anyways. Apologies, Jason. Quarterback Jeremiah Acosta to the end zone. Was that Jake Valenzuela?
Valenzuela.
If I can't see the number, I just assume it's Valenzuela. Looks like Riverside Poly battling back. Nobody really had a lot of separation in this game, right, guys?
No, in fact, Ramona went out 14-0 on a turnover and scored again, but it was all Poly after that, and then finally Ramona kind of got it going.
Yeah, 2 trips to pay dirt each for Sincere Tolbert and for Jake Valenzuela. But you got to like how Poly battled, especially on defense, and kept him in the game. Here's the big play. That was on 4th down. Acosta finds Jake Valenzuela for the touchdown, but right back comes Poly. Matthew Padilla with the touchdown catch in the corner of the end zone. The Bears aren't going away, guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was Acosta, it was Sincere Tolbert, and it was a lot of Sincere right there. Sincerely, what did we say?
Well, 2 trips to the pay dirt, that's all we needed to say.
But it was a lot of fun as Riverside Poly did make things close in the end against Ram High. But Ramona taking this edition of the Solar Series. What was it, 35? Yeah, 28, the final score out there at King High School.
And only, Poly lost by, 3.5 yards.
Tough one, yeah. I thought Victor Aguilar played phenomenally. The quarterback for Poly just couldn't quite get into the end zone on that last drive. Poly had a couple of opportunities late. I think once they get to league play, they're going to be okay. They got to go all in on Sunbelt League competition.
Yeah, and think about this. Poly's lost 3 games? They've lost 4. They have not lost a game by more than 14 points all season. They lost by 1, 6. 14, and then tonight 7.
Every game they've played, Pep, and every loss they've had, they're 1-4. It was a 1-score game in the 4th quarter. And they're getting healthy. They got their defensive line back, and they were pretty good in the first half. Yep. And they're good in the second half as well, but Ramona made some nice adjustments and were able to come out. And they've been in a few shootouts this year, and so Ramona knows how to play in a shootout.
And anytime. I'll tell you what, Costa, I've talked about him all season long. I think he is dynamic in a sense. I mean, he's not 6'5". He's about 5'5", to say the least. But he is great outside of the pocket and throws better than anyone off of the run. I think he is a fun player to watch. And Valenzuela, he's good for always 1 or 2 spectacular plays. And no exception tonight, made some great catches. And a great run back on a kick return. Just played phenomenal.
Yeah, we talked about it on the air. I think it came down to 2 plays. It was the interception in the first quarter by Jordan Daniel turned into a touchdown for Ramona, and then that 4th down touchdown completion to Jake Valenzuela. Just made a couple of more plays than Poly did, but I really liked how Poly came out. It was a great atmosphere at Martin Luther King High. It was slumber party theme in the student section for Poly.
Everyone's wearing pajamas. I mean, it was just funny. I was like, before the game, I'm out talking to a couple friends. I said, is that girl wearing pajamas? And I was like, you can't wear pajamas to a high school. And then I looked up in the crowd, and there was just all pajamas.
Was that called getting coded, right? Dress code?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, right?
I guess.
You can't wear that kind of stuff to school.
No. No. Then they were all wearing like flip-flops and
slippers.
Lots of slippers.
No robes. Yeah. I would have loved to see some robes in the stands,
That's good. That makes it fun, though, right?
Oh, it was a great experience to call this. I'm a Ramona Ram alumni. I'm a Poly apologist. But I'll tell you this, it was fun to see both coaches. They do a great job. Ken Mashinsky's lost 27 players, 18 starters from last year's team. And then you have Jerron Gilbert, who's really impressed me. I mean, his defensive schemes have really stymied some teams. They just need to kind of get that offense flowing.
All right, real quick, I'm going to call a quick audible, real quick way of Gazal up here on the set. You guys have RCC. I guess me too. I'm going to be out there tomorrow at Wheelock as well. RCC taking on El Camino tomorrow, and Tigers trying to come off an impressive win and do it all over again.
Getting the band back together. Great to have you back, Pep. But no, it's fantastic. They second in the state in both polls, and the national poll, Brad Hoyce, they call it the JC Gridiron Dirty 30. Riverside is 8th. El Camino is 7th, but here's a little tidbit. So, 30th meeting between the two teams. Series goes back to 1948.
What?
And Riverside has won the last 11.
Oh.
You know how many time zones there are in the Soviet Union? In the former Soviet Union?
Of course I do.
11. There were 11. It's an old Ray Breen bit. Sorry about that. But yeah, 11 straight. Last time El Camino won was 2009. Last time they won at Wheelock, Sweet Wheelock, 2008. Talked to Coach Giff this week, Gifford Lindheim. He's the head coach at El Camino, and he really has so much respect for Tom Kraft and what they do and what they can do. And he's hoping to get the W, break that 11-game win streak.
And it's nice to be back at Wheelock Stadium. Great turf.
And
no
a 1 o'clock
bleachers.
kick, right?
Yes.
If people are going to watch it live on Riverside TV, RCC and El Camino. Gazal, always appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow for that big college football game. But as we continue here on the show, back to high school football, we're going to take you on the road out to the Hemet area. Hillcrest hitting the road to take on Tockwitz. Let's go to those highlights. And Jeff, Tockwitz undefeated to start the season. And they're one of the better teams. In fact, in our Inland Sports Top 25, they are in the top 25. And they've got some big-time ballers for head coach Stefan Pace. And we know head coach Travis Carter does such a great job. But we knew this game went down to the wire last year. We knew this was going to be another great game today. It's number 13 for the Titans, Romeo Evans in at quarterback. This time, hands it off. And scampering in for the score is DJ Bryant for Tockwitz. And again, it went down to the wire last season when they played at Norte Vista High School in Riverside. But this time around, Hillcrest trying to make things interesting. That was Ramos setting up the field goal, and it is good for Hillcrest. Now we go back the other way with Tockwitz, and they got a pretty special quarterback in Romeo Evans, all by himself, takes it to the paint for a Tockwitz touchdown. And this time, Evans is going to throw it out, quick out to Johnny Johnson. He's pushed out of bounds. As you can see, the Titans are on the move once again. This time it's David Toney getting the call. Toney, get in there for another Tockwitz touchdown. Hillcrest trying to answer, getting fire with fire, and a touchdown there for the Trojans.
I'll tell you what, and Travis Carter, I mean, they have lost some tough ones this season. They're 1-4. They could very easily, I don't know about tonight, but they could definitely could use a couple wins. I think they're going to be very, very good, though, in that River Valley League coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they picked up their first win of the season last week, but I'm looking at their games this year. They lost to Poly 14-6 to open up the season. Then they lost in overtime to Redlands by 1, 21-20. Then they lost to Grand Terrace by 1. So they lost by a combined 2 points in consecutive weeks. So they could easily be 4-0, going into this game. But so Tockwitz wins tonight. What was it? 44-31, the final score there.
And remember this, Yuli Sandoval will be back probably the last 3 weeks of the season for Hillcrest. He is their best playmaker by far.
Big-time receiver.
Big-time receiver. He's going to cause some problems. If they can get him back, like I said, the last 3 weeks, they could cause some problems in the playoffs.
All right, Jeff, moving on. We're going to talk about San Gorgonio against Liberty. And when you look at
Janik?
Yeah, when you look at the Inland Empire as a whole, this was one of the bigger games. Liberty coming off their first loss of the year. They were going to be angry. And San Gorgonio, one of the, feel-good surprise stories this season, coming in at 4-0. And again, our good friend Chris Chaddick going back to his alma mater and leading San G this year.
Going into tonight's game, I believe San G had not given up a defensive touchdown or an offensive touchdown. It's been on special teams.
Yeah.
They what do they call it? The donuts. They're giving up nothing but donuts. But tonight is a different animal. The Bison are pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So how did they do?
Well, I want to give a quick shout out to our friend Gary Headland too. too. The former
yes.
head coach at La
Yes.
Sierra. He's the offensive coordinator at Sanji with Coach Chaddick. So they've been putting up a lot of points. And as you said, putting up a lot of donuts defensively against the other teams.
And remember, Andy Martinez is over there too. Andy
That's
Martinez
right.
has been everywhere.
North Vista, Hillcrest.
You name
I think
it.
North, right? He's a North
yeah,
guy.
He's originally a North guy, but
Yeah.
now he's out there with Chris Chaddick over at San G.
All right, we got a lot of highlights from this one, so we better get right to it. That's sarcasm.
What's that say? Always
earned, never given. This is our year. Here comes San Gorgonio, and we're going to show you the one Spartans touchdown. They got a great quarterback, Peyton Clark. In all seriousness, he is a stud. Throws that touchdown pass. That was Sanji's only touchdown of the game. That's it. That's the highlights.
But that right there, those two color schemes of both of those uniforms, amazing. I might say they might be as good as Ramona. Both teams.
Yeah, those were pretty cool
They're
uniforms.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, but nonetheless, San G, having a great season. They just ran into a really good Bison team. Our good friend Coach Phillips hit me up, and he's like, "Yeah, they were ready to go tonight. They were going to get that win."
Yeah,
So.
but man, Liberty, they are going to be a juggernaut for years. We saw it with Heritage, and this is kind of the new area where a lot of new homes coming in. They're going to be good for years to come.
Yep, I think you're exactly right. Also tonight, we had another edition of the Holy War. That's Notre Dame versus Aquinas. We know there's been some turnover at Notre Dame just this week. Our good friend, head coach Rick Pontius, no longer the head coach for the Titans. So they had some other coaches, from the JV squad, step up, fill in, coach the game tonight against Aquinas. But Jeff, I don't know. Superman could have been on the sidelines for Notre Dame. I don't know if it would change anything against Aquinas.
There is not. When you talk about the Holy War, it has been Aquinas, and Aquinas a juggernaut. They used to be in the same darn league, the Ambassador League.
Yeah.
This was an old rival that has come to fruition, but very tough one for Notre Dame, to say the least.
Yeah, let's just show you the scoreboard real quick. Aquinas wins the Holy Shield in the Holy War, 47-3, the final score there. So Notre Dame falls to 0-5. Aquinas, probably the best 2-3 team you're going to find. They just played a lot of really good teams in their non-league schedule. So big win there for Aquinas. Next up, we've got Arlington taking on Bell Gardens.
Argamosa.
Coach Argamosa's up to his old tricks. They're winning football games again.
Now, I'll tell you what, were they 0-6 to start the season when they went to the state finals?
Yeah, what was? I think it was.
It was like 0-6, but what does that say? I love it when the den goes dark.
Oh, yeah, it's getting real dark out there. Here come the lines. Oh, there's your guy.
Kevin Argamosa.
It's Coach Argamosa getting his troops ready, man, and they were fired up, ready to go. Check out this drive. First drive of the game, Isaac Del Toro. Slow it down.
That might be your play of the week right there.
Run right there. Stays on his feet. Picks up a first down for the Lions. And then later on that same drive, it'll be number 2, Akili Thomas, busting off a big run. In fact, he had a big game for Arlington, but a big run here for Thomas.
He's been very good all season long.
First down there for Arlington, then they go to the air. Broderick Burr, the quarterback, to Adrian Mendoza for the TD. 7-zip in the first quarter.
He has a full beard. Look at that. A full beard and great hair.
He loves the camera, too.
35 years old.
7-zip Arlington. Oh, and a shout out to the Arlington girls flag football team. 2-0 to start the season. They got a little bit of recognition and got highlighted in between quarters there. To the second quarter, Bell Gardens going for it on 4th down. Nope. Keith Cook in on the play for the Lions. Somewhere back there he is. They come up with the stop. Lions get the football back. Burr to Nick Roman for the big pickup here. First down for the Lions as they go into Bell Gardens territory. That would set up this later on that drive. It's going to be Thomas all alone, bounces into the end zone for the score, and Arlington goes up by a score of 14-0, and the old pep rally camera following, being a little nosy, following Thomas on the sidelines.
Man, everybody wants to get a piece and look at you.
Bell Gardens offense just sputtering against that Lion defense. Mendoza jars the ball loose. Cook recovers. Lions go back on offense, and here we go again. I might sound like a broken record, but with less than a minute before halftime, Arlington is on the move again. It's going to be Burr, the completion to set up. Jeff, it's going to be another Thomas touchdown. They led 21-0 at halftime as Thomas is going to trot into the end zone with just seconds left in the first half. 35-zip, Jeff. The final score as Arlington rolls tonight. There he is, just being a little nosy on the sidelines.
Didn't they play? See, if you are that guy right there, take off your helmet so we can see what you look like. You know, in football, you see just masks. Show off your hair and your good looks and wink at Pep Fernandez, for God's sakes. Take off your helmet.
Next time.
Yes.
There's always a next time, right?
Anytime you see Pep Fernandez near you on the sidelines and he's got his camera or his phone or whatever, just take off your helmet. That's it.
I think he was. I think he was sitting on the bench, like drinking water. I was like, oh, you know what? I'll give him a little bit of space. Everyone's got their own little personal bubble, right? So I'll give him a little space. Next up, our good friend Billy Cardosi and the Kaiser Cats.
A good friend?
Very good friend.
He's okay. He's all right.
Very good friend. But they're coming off a loss. I think I just spoiled the highlights. Let's go to the highlights. Kaiser taking on Segerstrom, and Kaiser, they can run the football. They play great defense, but I think they ran into a Segerstrom team that actually just does the same thing. And it was 28-21 the final score. That is Kyle Shine. Looks like a little Wildcat quarterback. So our very good friend, Billy Cardosi, mixing it up with the Cats.
Oh, yeah, he's okay.
But they lost 28-21 the final score in this one. I think we got one more highlight. Oh, and it's a Kaiser touchdown. What do you know? But, yeah, they did come up one touchdown short. So the Cats now 3-2 on the season against a good Segerstrom team.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you have Shine, you're gonna be pretty darn good. If they would have had their both backs this year, I think they probably would be in the running for one of the best teams in the Southern section, if not.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Yeah, they had two good running backs. The other one, Marshall, he's injured right now. So if they had Shine and Marshall, it might be a different story there. All right, actually one of the best games of the night. Colton against San Bernardino, the Sean Collins Bowl. Collins, a current head coach at Cardinal City.
Schools.
Yeah, going up against his former team, the Yellow Jackets, and it's one of those cases, Jeff, where a team rolls out to a big lead, and then the other team from out of nowhere comes back. Let's go to the highlights here, and it was San Bernardino. That's the H-Train. Henry Hernandez going in for the touchdown, and Hernandez had a big game. Number 20, Isaiah Lopez, is also another big-time running back for San Bernardino. He also had a big game as well. He wears number 20. As San Bernardino, man, they went up by a score of 27-6. And then late in the game, it was 35-18 as Lopez goes in for the touchdown. But Colton comes back. This is with no time left on the clock. Freshman quarterback Koa Regalado finds Alex Juarez, the senior, for the game-winning score with zeros on the clock. That was it. That is the final play of the game.
Colton, the Yellow Jackets won that one?
They won it. Jason, let's just hang on this shot. It's a little bit of pandemonium as we're celebrating. 36-35. So what I say, they were down 27-6.
Yes.
They were down 35-18. Or I'm sorry, they were down 27-6 and 35-18. The Yellow. You know what I always say? You can never count out the Yellow Jackets. I always say that.
Yeah, because you know what? They sting. And
they hurt.
They stung San Bernardino. You know what? What are the San Bernardino? Are they the Cardinals?
Cardinal
cities? They got
Cards.
stung. They got stung by the Yellow Jackets.
Man. So that was probably, I know Paris beat Supa Dupa Harupa Valley in overtime tonight. That one went down to the wire, but yeah, Colton San Bernardino, that might have been like the game tonight in terms of a crazy finish here. All right, Jeff, why don't we go to the scoreboard for the first time tonight?
Can we?
I know you're excited about that.
Man, that's all I think about is scores, baby.
I know you do. Let's go to the scoreboard and run through a bunch of them tonight. Roosevelt and Santiago.
I hate when you do that.
I know you do. I do. That's why I do it louder when you're here. 55-10, Mustangs win tonight. Here's a game I was surprised. Citrus Valley and Norco. Norco beating CV, Jeff.
Barledge going in and taking care of business over our dear friend with the funny pants, Coach Brewitt.
Yeah, we love both those coaches, but
wow.
Norco, that's a significant win for Norco to kind of get them maybe back on track before league play begins. Corona, blank outflanking Indian Springs 39-zip. Hey, don't sleep on the Panthers. They're 3-1 this year.
Panthers, go on.
Shout out to Coach Diaz out there. Beaumont and Marietta Mesa. Beaumont, man, an absolute steamroller right now, just rolling over teams. They beat Dixie in Utah last week.
They go everywhere.
They come back home. They beat Marietta Mesa, so they're 5-0 right now. Marietta Mesa, probably the best 0-5 team you're going to find. They're too good.
They were great last year, and they're just playing a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, tough teams. Vista Marietta, 30-13 against Temecula Valley. We've got a couple highlights on that one coming up. Chaparral. City champions in the city of Temecula, beating Great Oak tonight, 35-3.
Ranked 25th?
I think is that Max Preps?
I have no idea. I just saw ranked 25th.
Ukaipa over Palm Springs, 20-12. Ukaipa is 5-0. So is Beaumont. Can't wait for that game that's going to come in a couple weeks.
The T-Birds.
That's right. We're going to have highlights from that game in a second. Cajon.
What?
Really
That's not
good.
real?
Going up against a state champion from a season ago, Lincoln from San Diego, the #1 ranked team in the San Diego section, San Diego County, and Lincoln looking the part tonight. 34-0 the final score, so Cajon suffers their first loss of the year. Rim of the World and Redlands East Valley. Rev, big winner against the Fighting Scots, 42-13. Summit and Carter, our good friend Nick Matheny, and the Skyhawks win 28-7 there. Harupa Hills getting their first win of the season. Oh, I don't have it here. Hold on. I got the score.
You have the score?
I have the score right here.
Well, if it's a 0-0, that's
No. Harupa Hills won. Man, I got to find it. Hold on. Never mind. Harupa Hills won.
So
I
they
do know that.
they got their first
They
win
got
of the
their
year.
first win. Yeah, moving on. Elsinore and Eisenhower. Jeff, you might lose a finger, bro.
Pinky, but Pinky was a little sore. I figured about 9 o'clock tonight. I said something must be going on, and Eisenhower took care.
Hold that still. Let me see that again. Don't move it. Just hold it right there.
Okay.
Don't move it, because Jeff said if Eisenhower goes undefeated through the regular season,
I'm gonna lop it off.
lop it off and give it to Eisenhower in honor of the great Ronnie Lott, who's an Eisenhower legend.
Yeah. See, Ronnie Lott did it himself. So I'm going to plan to do it myself. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to drink heavily, probably. But this little digit could disappear, and it will be on the chain of Eisenhower.
Well, they're 5-0 right now. Big win against Elsinore, 14-9. Let's see. Do we have one more? Yeah, Arroyo Valley. 4-1 now on the season. The Hawks improved.
Who was their only loss?
4-1.
Wasn't it to ACA?
ACA, that first game of the year. They beat
man.
Pacific 52-8. All right, we still got more scores. We've got more highlights to get to, and we're also going to take a quick look ahead at the following week. Right after this, we'll be right back on the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV.
Are you getting ready for your next adventure? The City of Riverside has got you covered. Our passport acceptance facility is open and ready to help you with getting your U.S. passport. Located at 3025 Madison Street in the Public Utilities Customer Resource Center, we're available to assist you by appointment Monday through Friday. Booking your appointment is easy. Just head to www.riversideca.gov/cityclerk/passport to schedule. And don't forget to check back frequently for updates on appointment availability due to cancellations. We can't wait to help you get one step closer to your next travel destination. To apply for a U.S. passport, first check out our helpful checklist. Then head over to travel.state.gov, the official website of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Consular Affairs. You'll find all the information you need, including the application forms and instructions, acceptable forms of identification, passport fees, and processing times. Don't forget to complete Form DS-11 before your appointment and bring evidence of U.S. citizenship, a government-issued photo ID, and a 2x2-inch passport photo, or have our friendly staff take one for you. If your passport has been lost or stolen and you are applying for a replacement, you must also fill out Form DS-64 and bring it with you to your appointment if you haven't already reported it missing online or by mail. If you're under 16, you'll need to appear with both parents or legal guardians, and if you're aged 16 to 17, you'll need to appear with at least one parent or legal guardian. If you already have a valid passport and are eligible for renewal, you can only do that by mail, but the Passport Acceptance Facility will be more than happy to review your application at no cost. To find out if you are eligible to renew and begin the process, please visit the U.S. Department of State's website. Once you've gathered all the necessary documents, head to our acceptance facility at your appointment time and pay the required fees. There are 2 separate payments required: the passport fee, payable by check or money order, to the Department of State, and processing fees, payable to the City of Riverside by cash, check, or money order. Look over our handy passport checklist for the list of fees. And remember to thoroughly review the confirmation email we send you before your appointment date. Keep in mind that the application process can take several weeks, so it's best to apply well in advance of your travel plans. For appointments and information, visit riversideca.gov/cityclerk/passport. Good luck and happy travels!
And we're back here on Riverside TV. It's the Friday Night Pep Rally, your favorite show.
It's right up there. It might be my favorite too, except it's on at 11 o'clock at night, for gosh sake.
Jeff is getting tired, folks, so we got to keep the highlights moving and the score.
We got, man, I'm sleepy, man. I got to get home and go to bed.
But you know what? To your defense, you and Gazal, you do a lot of prep. You do the game. You put everything into the big game, which was actually pretty emotional, right? Tonight, Ramona and Polly, big rivalry game, down to the wire. And then you have to come in here and do this.
It's always emotional when I have to cover Ramona High School, because that is my team. That is my squad.
Well, Jeff, why don't you talk for a moment about Marietta Valley and their great Bachmeyer brothers, because I've got a score I need to text to Jason right now.
Okay, wait. Snake Bachmeyer, Hank Bachmeyer, and Bear Bachmeyer. And there's, Tiger. So while I sit here and tell you about all the Bachmeyer family, let's figure out how Marietta Valley did.
Let's do it. I'm ready now.
We ready?
Let's go to the highlights. Marietta Valley and the Bachmeyers and all those guys.
Snake Bachmeyer.
Here's the best part about Bear Bachmeyer. He wears number 47. And 7-zip Marietta Valley. King now with the football, Robert George. Check out George, number 13. Big pickup. First down, George. He's going to get loose. Jeff, could he go all the way across the 50? It's a foot race. And they're going to trip up George, but deep in Nighthawks territory. No, I don't know why.
First names.
Akutagawa, Lucas Akutagawa knocks home Akutagawa knocks home the field goal, 7-3. Here comes Marietta Valley again. Bachmeyer to Gilbert, that makes it 14-0. King answers. Josh Harper to J.J. Cruz. Here come the Wolves. Jeff, they're battling. Marietta Valley. Gilbert, a little cartwheel. I guess I can see who Bear's favorite target is, man, going to Gilbert a lot. This time it's going to be Asa Chapman going in for the score for Marietta Valley, 27-10 at that point. And then Bachmeyer to Derek Johnson on the TD strike. They were going nuts out there. They always have big crowds out there at Marietta Valley. And then check out this run. Dorian Jose, number 5, in for Marietta Valley, 41-10 at that point. How about one more score? Because you love Bachmeyer so much.
Who doesn't love
How he got that pass in between those two defenders, I don't know. Bachmeyer to Carell Thomas. And 48-24, Marietta Valley over King in this game.
I heard there's another Bachmeyer. Squirrel Bachmeyer.
Squirrel? You're just making stuff up
I'm
now.
not. I heard there's another one coming up. Squirrel Bachmeyer. You'll see it in 2027.
They are all super, super talented.
They are. They're great.
Yeah, and he wears number 47.
Wait, why do you wear 40? Why?
You know, he told me on the Inland Sports Show before, and I can't remember. I'm going to have him back on just so he can tell me that story, so we can relay it right here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's legal. I don't know.
It just looks awkward, right?
It's weird.
It's hard to watch.
Just weird.
All right, next up, La Sierra against Rubidoux. We just got the final score, so that's why I wanted to make sure Jason got it. So, Jason, if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go to La Sierra against Rubidoux. And here come the Falcons. Patrick Thompson, Riverside's most interesting man.
Yeah, but look at that field. That's a good-looking field right there.
La Sierra going to work. That's C.J. Fleming. Down the sideline he goes. Our guy Ryan shot this. He was all over it, man. Touchdown there for La Sierra, 6-0 at that point. How about more from the Eags from, around their own 20-yard line? That's T.J. Avellana. and he left Jeff. He's literally all alone.
There wasn't anybody near
Nobody
him.
close.
I could have ran through that hole.
So that makes it 12-0. So obviously the Eagles are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Oh, look at that little stutter step. Was that a little
Oh.
Euro step by Aviana?
That was something.
Luka Doncic style. 14-0 loss Sierra. Rubidoux would answer. That's David Sanchez going in for the score for the Doe. They go for the 2-point conversion, and they go back to Sanchez, who's going to fight his way into the end zone. That makes it a 14-8 game. So La Sierra, what do? They go right back to, well, C.J. Fleming. Look at that separation with some great speed. Stutter step. Now he's got 3, 4, 5, 6 Falcons all around him around the 15-yard line. And how about this? Aviana. He's a pretty good little back.
Man.
Gets in for the touchdown here. In fact, Coach sent me his stats last week. He had a big game last week, too, against Indian Springs. And check out there, Aiden Rockwell fighting his way into the end zone as well. Nothing coming easy, but the Eagles fighting for everything. And then there was Fleming, the long pass. Eric Mays, the touchdown there for La Sierra. And it's La Sierra winning by a final score of 47-14, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, La Sierra could be in the mix here in the River Valley League. New look. And I'll tell you, there's some good teams. Arlington's playing well. North Vista's playing well. Hillcrest on the upkeep. I'm telling you, they'll be all right. But the River Valley League should be pretty good this year.
It should be awesome. Listen, I'm not ready to crown Norte Vista the league champion, although the general consensus is Novi's the team to beat in the River Valley League. But I think, man, those playoff spots, second, third, third place, maybe even fourth place, depending who gets in. That's going to be the fun part, as we go through league play in the River Valley League. All right, next up, one of our local undefeated teams, Yucaipa, man.
Yucktown.
Hashtag Yucktown. They just keep on winning. Let's take you out to hashtag Yucktown. And they were taking on Palm Springs tonight. And the T-Birds, always tough, but really tough on their home field. They had a flyover, not by Thunderbirds, but
Those are Thunderbirds.
Canadian geese, I would suppose. Jeff, the weather's changing, isn't it?
Oh, tonight was the first time I felt cool in Southern California sitting up in a booth.
The sack there by the Indians, Koa Rapola. And then it's going to be Deese Turner going downfield to Jace Pastilli on the completion. 4th down. T-Birds going for it. Oh, but Palm Springs, they snuff it out here. They turn the T-Birds away. So Yucaipa gets the football back. They drive downfield. Here comes Pastilli. Big run. Trucks that player from Palm Springs, and that would set up this. DeWitt Crane knocks it home. Jeff, this guy has a huge leg. You should saw his kickoff, man. It was impressive. Even I could hear Palm Springs saying, watch out for that guy. Palm Springs back to punt. That's not going to work out well for the Indians, and that is a safety for the Thunderbirds. So it was a rare 5-0 lead for Yucaipa at that point. Deese Turner, the quarterback, big run there for the T-Birds to set up another DeWitt Crane field goal.
Wow.
Look at that. Plenty of distance on that one.
I love me some kickers.
8-0 at halftime. Yucaipa goes on to beat Palm Springs by a final of 20-12. So they improved to 5-0 on the season, Jeff. After that win, Palm Springs dropping to 0-4. So again, when you look at the Citrus Belt League,
Ooh, that's going to be juicy.
Yucaipa's 5-0, Beaumont's 5-0. Can they challenge Cajon? Can they challenge Citrus Valley even, who lost tonight against Norco?
That's going to be a great, great league here.
It is. It is. All right, next up, Canyon Springs taking on Heritage. Canyon Springs trying to go on the road and battle back in the fourth quarter. We just got a couple highlights, but it's really all you need to see as the Cougars came back late in the game against the Patriots. Here we go to the highlights, and there's only like 2 of them here. It's Canyon Springs in the red zone. Cameron Holzendorf takes it to the goal line, and that would set up this. With under 7 minutes left in the game, it's going to be Anthony Abad with the touchdown to give Canyon Springs the 14-12 win. So Canyon Springs is now 3-2. Heritage checks in now in at 0-5. Big win for Canyon Springs and head coach Kyle McFadden. Yeah.
And here you go. Just for
what is
my
that?
Canyon Springs. Move out, baby.
Oh,
Move out.
that's
Move out. My wife went to Canyon Springs. Every time I mention Canyon Springs, she goes,
That's what she does? Mobile for
Good
life.
win. Good win.
Canyon Springs for life. All right, next up, Temecula Valley taking on Vista Murrieta, the Coley Candell era part 2. Still doing big things. So let's go to those highlights. Our guy Jason, who's directing the show behind the scenes, actually made a quick pit stop down there at Vista Murrieta. Check out his Broncos. Huge crowd as always, right? Especially when they play Temecula Valley, who's a
Why is everybody wearing white T-shirts? It was like a white party.
It was a big white out there for the Broncos, trying to get that home field advantage, and they certainly enjoyed it tonight against the Golden Bears.
Flags are not ever supposed to touch the ground,
Any
bro.
flag? U.S.
Any
flag, California flag,
Any flag.
Bronco flag.
Nothing. Don't let it touch the
Quarterback Bryson Beaver to Brody Gwynn in the end zone. Brody Gwynn is one of the top receivers in the state. You look at his stats, and they are just unreal. So Gwynn hauls in that touchdown catch, and then a little bit later for the Broncos, it'll be number 4, Alex Vega, the running back, gets the call and works his way, muscling into the end zone for another Vista Murrieta touchdown. They jumped out to a big lead. Temecula Valley scored a couple late in the game to make things a little bit more interesting, but it was Vista Murrieta defeating the Golden Bears tonight by a final score of 30-13. So another win for Coach Candell and the guys.
Candell, the movie star, is undefeated. They're going to make a movie about him, and he's going to star as himself.
He's that good.
Oh, he's a good-looking man.
He is that
Good-looking
good.
man, great coach. Remember, he was their track coach, and they would have
That's
like 14 buses of kids showing up to these track meets. It'd be like 900 players.
Yeah, he had Michael Norman, a sprinter out of Vista Murrieta.
Yeah.
Candell was his coach, and now he's on Team USA. I think he won a gold medal too in the 400.
Yes, he
400
did.
meters. Is that right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Moval for life. Wait, I was not expecting that.
Moval! Look at that.
That was not on my bingo card tonight.
Yeah, that's only that's embarrassing that I actually did that. I'm sorry.
All right, speaking of undefeated teams, unfortunately, they're not undefeated as of tonight, but going into this week, Rancho Christian was 4-0. They beat some good teams. In fact, they beat a state champ from Utah, but it did not work out well when they went out to the desert to take on Xavier Prep. In fact, we've seen a lot of Xavier Prep on the show because they played Notre Dame, they played Aquinas, and now they're playing Rancho Christian. Saints punting.
Xavier. Xavier Prep.
Eagles on the return, and that is Rancho Christian, but man, all the way to the house for 6 there. So the Eagles scored first. That was great for Rancho Christian, but here we go. The Saints, they get a break there. They get the football back. They were down 7-zip, but in the red zone, it's going to be Joe Barry to Tyson Ruiz for the touchdown. And Xavier Prep wins 24-21 the final.
That French club from the desert. Xavier Prep.
Xavier.
They are tough to beat right now.
All right, so that's Rancho Christian's first loss of the year. Let's go back to the scoreboard tonight before we wrap things up on I guess a shorter edition of the Friday Night Pep
I guess
Rally.
so. We are moving through.
All right, our friend Ken Batdorf and the Braves on the road.
He's nobody's friend.
Very good friend.
He's not he's my bitter enemy. I'm glad that the team won. I was kind of hoping he would lose, but he always wins.
He won. That's a nice road win up there for them, 38-6. So Novi now 3-1 on the season. Bloomington and Citrus Hill, 32-14 for the Bruins, 4-0 to start the year.
Yeah, but
Look
remember,
out.
Citrus Hill only scored 17 points all of last season. They have a win, and they scored.
They're making strides.
They are making progress.
Absolutely. Colton and San Bernardino, you saw the highlights in our first segment. What a crazy game that went down to the wire. The Yellow Jackets won that one. Paris over Supa Dupa Harupa Valley. A shout out to Coach Sotelo, who hit me up and said, Pep, we're going to get you video of the game-winning touchdown. Might not be tonight, but they're going to get me the video. The game-winning touchdown in overtime for Paris. Adelanto beating Hemet tonight by a score of 36-12. Let's see. I think we had Linfield Christian and Norwalk.
Yes.
Linfield Christian, 2 better than Norwalk, 22-20. So shout out to Coach Deshaun Burns and the Lions down there for getting that win. And this game, this was in Maryland. This was on the East Coast.
They went to the East Coast to play this game?
Yeah, East Coast. And Maryland School for the Deaf beating California School for the Deaf Riverside by a score of 14-12. In fact, I saw a highlight on Twitter of one of of the touchdowns for the Maryland squad. And really, that was the difference in the game. Not a lot of scoring there as the Cubs come up short. Temecula Prep falling to La Puente 20-7. And I think that's going to round out our scores for tonight here on the Pep Rally. So, Jeff, that was week 4 of the high school football season. Now we go into week 5. Week 5, I like to call it a diet version of high school football because not everyone plays. If you played in week 0, there's probably a good chance that you are not playing in next week. You're taking your bye next week in game 5 or week number 5. So it's a little light next week. It's a diet version.
And trying to get some of your guys healthy.
Yes.
That's big right before we get in the league. But what do we have for next week's?
Very, very important. Oh, we got a great game coming up on Riverside TV next week.
We do?
Not everyone's taking the week off. We'll be here. King is taking on JW North in the Riverside TV game next Friday, and that could be very interesting. King versus North. North versus Ramona, Ramona versus Poly. Those rivalry games are a lot of fun, and I think there's not a lot of separation. They're all pretty close right now.
And I think we can kind of almost gauge a city champion after this next week because all the teams have played each other. OP Vaiapulu, Jason McMains, very, very good athletes on both schools. King is a much better team than we've seen in the past. I still think they're the second best team in the city behind Norte Vista, but I can't wait to see them go against JW North.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. And then again, that's on Riverside TV next Friday night. Now, our fearless leader, Scott Brocious, is behind the scenes. So, Scott, I can see Scott. You guys can't see Scott. Scott, turn around and tell me, are you guys doing CSDR next Saturday? Do we have 2 Riverside TV games? Oh,
we do.
Scott just gave me the big thumbs up, everybody.
Yeah,
so
CSDR.
A doubleheader on Riverside TV next week. Friday night, you got the big King versus North game, and then Saturday it'll be California School for the Deaf Riverside taking on Fremont School for the Deaf. So there's actually 2 schools for the deaf in California,
Go
one from
Cubs.
the north, one in the south here in Riverside. They're going to battle.
They're going to go, and is this right? Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
What was it? Win Cubs.
Win.
Cubs.
There we go.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
Love
right.
it.
So that's next Saturday on Riverside TV. A couple other games just real quick as we look ahead. This one could be interesting. Riverside Poly taking on Redlands. Jeff, I'm a believer in the Bears now. I think they're better than their 1-4 record indicates. And Redlands at 3-1. The only time we've seen them here on this show is when they beat Hillcrest in overtime. So the Terriers are on the upswing for sure. That's a very interesting game.
I'm going to call the game. Say it right now. Poly Bears are going to win that one.
You know what? Here, I'm going to write down the score. What do you say?
I'm going to say it's going to be 17-14.
Oh, man, low scoring.
Low scoring.
Now, my wife is a Terrier. She bleeds blue, so she's not going to like this at all.
Then Redlands will win. I'll do it for your wife.
Let's see. We got Norte Vista, big win tonight. On the road up at Granite Hills. They played in Apple Valley. They go on the road again. What's with all these road games for Ken Batdorf and the Braves?
You know, they were supposed to have a brand new stadium. They didn't build the darn thing, so they ended up having to play all these road games. Muir last year, CIF champion.
Are they really?
They were, yes.
Do you know where they're at? What city?
Yes, they're in Pasadena.
Oh, Jeff, you're just a plethora of knowledge, a cornucopia of information.
It's 11:45, and it's probably the last thing I'll remember, but yeah.
And Jason, did we add one more? We did. This is a big one.
Oh, huge.
We're going to talk about this one on Inland Sports, no doubt. Vista Murrieta against Rancho Cucamonga.
Undefeated.
Both teams undefeated. And that is probably the biggest game in the IE come next week. Although I do want to give that's a big game, but I do want to give a quick shout out to Centennial is taking on Liberty from Arizona, and both Centennial and Liberty are in the top 10, top 15 teams in the nation. So when you look at the national high school football picture, that's a huge game. In fact, Centennial's home. Maybe we'll try to get highlights of that one.
I'll definitely go out there and show up and mess with Coach Logan.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. So that, Jeff, we actually got done earlier than normal. We're done on your favorite show. We'll see you next.
Nope. Let's pause there. I have something to announce here on the pep rally. So those of you that are watching, I would love to say this. I'm looking at this thing tonight. I want to let everyone know through Jennifer Goldware, the lovely president of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, and the board, which I'm a part of. We came up with the Wall of Distinction group that will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And tonight I was able to see Kelvin Butler and Billy Walker, and they will be joining the Wall of Distinction, and they will be joining my friend Pep Fernandez. Congratulations, Pep Fernandez. You have been inducted into the Wall of Distinction at the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Jeff, I don't even know what to say. Like, I mean, first off, I just feel like I'm not very deserving of this. You know, you mentioned those other guys and they're Riverside legends. But I will say this. So like early on in my sports broadcasting career, I bounced around a couple TV stations. I was kind of like a nomad. Back in 2011, the Press Enterprise brought me down here, and that's when Riverside adopted me, and they've been great ever since. So Scott Brocious over here with Riverside TV. You know, I've done stuff with UC Riverside and those were such great times, and the CBU. So Riverside adopted me. They welcomed me in. I was a nomad. I didn't really have a home for a long time, and you guys were so awesome. So I just feel like I don't deserve it. Like there's got to be better people than me out there.
No.
But I love Riverside. I love the local sports scene. I just want to be a small part of it. So I don't even know what to say, but thank you. This is a huge honor.
Well,
I can't say thank you enough.
The one thing I will say about you, Pep, you and I have been best of friends for the last 9 years of my life. You got me out of coaching, and that's something that I was born to do. But I thank God every single day that I met you, Pep Fernandez, and I think you're the most talented individual I've ever worked with. And I think you do so many positive things for not only Riverside, but the entire Inland Empire. And you are so well deserved. And one more time, congratulations. Looking forward to getting you inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I really appreciate it. I am looking forward to that day. My family will be there. I just can't believe it. It's hard to put into words because, again, you mentioned those other guys who are going on the wall too. It's like, how am I going in with them? Like it just doesn't. Remember Sesame Street? One thing does not belong.
Yes.
It's like the four squares.
Yeah.
Like one of these things does not belong. That's me. I don't belong. But again, thank you. Like I just can't believe it. So.
And we have some more. We're gonna talk a little bit later on this week. We're gonna go around and surprise a few people on the Wall of Distinction. So once again, congratulations to everybody that has donated their time, their energy, and the love of sports in the city of Riverside. I appreciate it as Vice President. Jennifer Goldward, our President. We really, really look forward to honoring people like you, Pat.
Well, when you voted on this, did you tell everyone that I host the #1 TV show in Riverside?
Well, I told them it was the #2 because until you actually get awards from this show.
Where's my awards?
Oh, no,
Where they
my
put 'em?
awards are everywhere, if you notice. But no, it is the best show, and we're so happy to have you guys every Friday night. I love covering sports here in Riverside. I love covering high school football, college basketball, but I enjoy most of my time spent with you.
Well, we have a lot of fun up here, and again,
Yes, we do.
But really, again, at the end of the day, it's about the kids,
It's
right? It's
all
about
about-
I know it sounds like a cliche. Oh, it's about the kids, but it really is about the schools, the athletes, the coaches that we love to cover. So,
And it's always positive. You and I never spin negativity ever on the air because we always look to the positive because we have a good faith in humanity and each other. So
and we have a lot of fun.
Yes, we
it's
do.
just high school football at
Yes,
the end
it
of the
is.
day, right?
Yes,
It's just
it
high
is.
school
Yep.
football. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of your favorite show, the #1 show on TV, the Pep Rally on Riverside TV. Jeff's not going to fight me tonight. Next week he will, but I think tonight you'll let me have it. But a big shout out to Scott Brocious and Jason Saipa, who run the show really behind the
do a
scenes.
great
They
job.
make it all happen here at Riverside TV. We just stand up here, joke around, and show you some highlights and talk about the scores. So we'll do it again next week. Again, a diet version of high school football. So if your favorite team is not playing, it's not, your schedule's not wrong. It's just everyone's got a lot of teams have buys, but we do have that doubleheader on Riverside TV. King versus North on Friday, CSDR coming up on Saturday. So for our entire team behind the scenes, Jeff Gorham, my name is Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next Friday night on your second favorite show, the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department